It's July 2018, and the clock strikes just past midnight. At 12:01 a.m., a single line gets slipped into Chapter 99 of the Harmonized Tariff Schedule of the United States. Boring legal stuff, right? Not really. That small tweak was a big bang that launched a global economic shift. Overnight, over 280 products, from airplane tires to batteries, faced a 25% import tax if shipped from China to the US. This was the opening move of what would soon become the US-China trade war, and it sent shockwaves across the world. Suddenly, the economic landscape started to reshape, and Mexico, of all places, began to rise as the surprising new star of global manufacturing. The trade war escalated like a wildfire. First, they taxed a $36 billion package of goods, then they taxed another $16 billion. By September, $200 billion worth of goods faced 10% tariffs, which soon jumped to a punishing 25%. So what does this mean for your everyday Chinese-made product? A $48 price for an item such as a space heater went up to $60. That price hike didn't sit well with consumers, and distributors started scrambling for alternative suppliers. The result? An 8.5% drop in trade from China to the US, and a 26.3% decline in the opposite direction. But here's where things get interesting. With China dethroned as America's top trading partner, Mexico took the crown. Canada wasn't far behind, but Mexico's proximity and cost advantages made it the perfect substitute. The shift wasn't just about tariffs, it was part of a bigger picture. Fast forward to 2020, when a new virus is discovered in Wuhan. COVID-19 is not only life-threatening, but also disrupts international trade. Supply lines crumble due to mandatory quarantines, workforce deficits, and skyrocketing demand. Americans, stuck at home, go on a buying spree for physical goods, but factories from China to Vietnam can't keep up. Ports clog, ships sit idle, and store shelves go bare.
Well, another supply chain concern that could hit the Bay Area hard. China shutting down one of the world's largest electronics manufacturing facilities to fight a new COVID spike. As our business and tech reporter Scott Budman explains, it could soon take longer and cost more to get some of the most popular tech from iPhones to Xboxes.
By late 2022, things began to stabilize. Shipping rates drop, and trade somewhat normalizes, but the damage had already been done. COVID-19 exposed the fragility of global supply chains, and businesses started rethinking their reliance on distant manufacturing hubs like China. Then, Russia's invasion of Ukraine further disrupts trade, making raw materials scarcer and shipping routes riskier. This cocktail of chaos leaves one thing clear: the world needs a backup plan. China might have been the growth engine for the world economy for decades, as it heavily resorted to low-cost manufacturing. But success has its costs. As China's GDP per capita soared, so did wages. The cheap labor that once attracted companies evaporated. Now, places such as Beijing and Shanghai are just as expensive as Tokyo or New York, if not more. Foreign investment, once the lifeblood of China's economy, began to flow elsewhere. The Chinese economy still has technology such as Tencent and Huawei, and e-commerce markets are still dominated by Alibaba. But China, being the manufacturing hotspot, seems to be fading away. And there's another problem: distance. Shipping goods from China to the US is a logistical nightmare. An 18-day journey across the Pacific is fraught with delays, adding yet another layer of cost and complexity. Which brings us to Mexico once again. Imagine you're a US distributor, and you don't want 18-day shipping or foreseen tariffs. Then there's Mexico, which is just a truck ride away. Nearshoring or relocating the production facilities closer to the target market seems logically like the best strategy. Mexico's geographic position can't be topped. With common borders and existing USMCA, previously NAFTA, trade agreements in place, Mexico delivers everything that China cannot: speed, flexibility, and cost. Of course, Mexico isn't ideal. High levels of corruption, poor infrastructure compared to China, and difficulties of intermodal transport over harsh geography. It has one competitive edge though, and that's its geography. The World Trade International Bridge, which connects Texas and Nuevo León, accounts for more than 6,000 trucks passing through it each day, making it the most precious inland port in North America. This single fact ensures that Mexico has an edge over its competitors in international trade. Then there's the Hofusan Industrial Park, a joint Chinese-Mexican venture. It's situated outside Monterrey, and it's aimed at moving Chinese manufacturers close to the US market. Companies like Hisense, Kuka Home, and Lenovo have already set up shop, and more are following suit. In 2022, 44 Asian companies opened manufacturing spaces in Mexico, 9 of which were Chinese-owned.
Now, Chinese companies are showing their robust manufacturing presence. The latest example of Chinese business expansion in Mexico is the 850-hectare Hofusan Industrial Park. The fast-paced installation of Chinese factories is part of a massive transition in the global economy, where these companies are moving production here to the northern Mexican state of Nuevo León and bringing their products closer.
The boom in the manufacturing sector of Mexico certainly didn't happen overnight. It has its roots in the maquiladora system created many decades back. The tax-free zones enticed companies like Ford, Toyota, and Samsung long before China started reigning the industry. As early as 2012, over 5,000 maquiladoras employed 2 million Mexicans, turning northern Mexico into the manufacturing hub. The advantages are obvious. Mexico has cheap labor and proximity to the US market, while guaranteeing strong IP protection. Moreover, relocating the factories to Mexico helps avoid the tariffs and the criticisms of moving offshore to nations with horrible records of human rights. If you're liking the video so far, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Although wages in China have been increasing, in Mexico they remain quite average. In some instances, it's now cheaper to assemble in Mexico than China. Not only is Mexico's workforce economical, but it's also quite competent. Mexico has over the years put a lot of focus and resources into its workforce training, especially in engineering and other technical aspects. This leaves them with qualified personnel who can compete in high-end markets and industries. Mexico also has a large number of free trade agreements in place, including the USMCA. This allows easy and cost-effective exporting of goods to countries such as the US and Canada, avoiding hefty tariffs. Mexico has cordial ties with Western countries with respect to its political views, unlike China. This political stability enables it to be a safe option for businesses who are aiming at reducing the risk of political interference. Contrary to these advantages, Mexico's government has not been able to take this chance to the fullest. The López Obrador administration appeared more interested in dealing with the crime menace than enhancing the growth of the industries. While this is comprehensible due to the escalated levels of murder cases in Mexico, it's a lost opportunity. Nuevo León is one state that has elected not to wait for the central government to take action, constructing industrial sites and giving dealers incentives to set up businesses. Monterrey, the state capital, is now a hub of wealth and innovation, boasting Latin America's tallest skyscraper and a booming tech scene. Technology is playing a pivotal role in facilitating this shift. Advanced manufacturing technologies like automation, robotics, and 3D printing are making it easier for companies to set up efficient operations in Mexico. Digital tools also help businesses manage supply chains, optimize logistics, and ensure quality control. China isn't disappearing from the manufacturing map anytime soon. The country still offers unparalleled production capacity and remains a leader in high-tech industries like semiconductors and renewable energy. However, it's clear that China's dominance is being challenged. As more companies diversify their supply chains, China may need to focus on higher value industries and domestic consumption to sustain its growth. The shift from China to Mexico isn't just about cost savings or logistics. It reflects broader changes in the global economy. Companies are rethinking how and where they produce goods in an increasingly complex world. Factors like sustainability, political stability, and regional partnerships are playing a bigger role than ever before. What do you think about this? Let us know in the comments section below and make sure to like the video. Thanks for watching.